Hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm Adam, aka the Beer Monster, and it's Beer Monster o'clock. And for this one, got one from the Austell Brewery. And I picked this up from Asda, and it was £2.10p. It's also in the 4 for 3 deal, where you can mix and match with other beers and all that sort of thing. It is the MENA DHU Stout. I think it says MENA DHU Stout. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And it is their bottle conditioned, complex and flavoursome stout, and it's 4.5% ABV. It's always nice to get the old bottle conditioning as well, isn't it? There's a little look at your bottle cap, typical sort of St. Austell style bottle cap on there. It's a 500ml bottle, this one, and yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. It's nicely chilled. Oh, MENA DHU, just in case you're wondering what that means, like I was. I popped it into Google, and it what was it? It means Black Hill in Cornish. MENA DHU. There you go. If you was wondering, now you know. We've learned something. Right, let's crack it open. And also, you can see at the top there, it's a 6 malt stout. That's a lot of maltage going into one drink there. So yeah, I've got high hopes for this. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. Let's get it into my new Guinness glass, which I acquired on my weekend away, let's say. Because I did have some before, but the children kindly smashed them for me. There we go, not much head on that. Maybe half a centimetre of sort of tanned head, or beige, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, doesn't look too bad though. It's almost pitch black, I would say. Just this tiniest bit of light getting through there. Yeah, it looks alright. Let's have a little whiff and check out the aromas. First thing I'm getting is dark chocolate. Plenty of roasted malts, as you would expect from a stout. So like roasted, toasted malts, but there's also like a kind of smokiness about it, about the aroma. Like smoky malts as well. It's interesting. It's not like the strongest aroma, but there's quite a few different things going on. Perhaps a tiny little bit of dark fruit as well. But it's not like, it's not a full-on aroma, but it's quite complex, I suppose you could say. So yeah, let's see if it tastes as good as it smells. Cheers everybody. Bosh. Wow. It's actually a very, very nice stout, that is. Oh, another thing I mentioned is 4.5% ABV, this one. Probably tastes a little bit stronger than that, actually. It's got quite a decent body for the ABV. I'd sort of say medium bodied. It's smooth. Carbonation feels quite soft and gentle. Which is like contributing to give it a nice mouthfeel. Lots of flavours going on here. You can tell they've used 6 different malts, because it's like all sort of flavours coming from all different angles, sort of thing. You don't know really, when you're trying to review it, you don't really know where to start, because you're getting bits from all the different malts going on everywhere, and you're trying to kind of like narrow it down to exactly what they are. So it's taken me a few mouthfuls to sort of pick them up. Without question, you are getting the normal sort of roasted, toasted malts that you get with a stout. And there is like a smokiness about it that's really nice for me. Kind of like toasted malts and like smoked malts. I don't know if the smokiness is coming from the malts, so I'd guess it is, but there's just something smoky about the flavours in this, and I'm pretty sure it's come from the malts. And it's really nice. It's making it a little bit different from the norm. plenty of dark chocolate, kind of like a dusty dark chocolate, if that makes any sense. And coffee as well, sure, coffee. Perhaps there is a sweetness about this, but I don't mind it. It suits the beer, although I'm not a fan of sweet beers. It's not massively sweet, but I feel like there's some sugar in this, perhaps brown sugar. Yeah, tastes like some brown sugar to me, but it's not overly sweet, and it is doing a good job for me of like helping balance the beer out with all that smokiness and the roasted malts and all that. I think you need a little bit of sweetness in there, otherwise it might become a bit too much. Also, again, very much in the distance, but got kind of like a slight pruniness as well, because it's stout for me. And prunes, but I think where there's so many different malts in it, you're just getting little bits and pieces of lots of flavours without one thing really dominating and taking over. So it's quite nice, because as you're sort of tasting it with every mouthful, you can start tasting different flavours and that you wasn't necessarily getting on the first mouthful. And I always like beers that do that, no matter whether it's a stout, a lager, you know, an IPA, you know, a Belgian Abbey beer or whatever. I always like it when you sort of, it takes a while to sort of suss the beer out and all the different flavours, and you may even go back and have a second and third bottle, and all of a sudden you're tasting something else. And for me, on a personal level, that's a sign of a good beer, that is. And towards the end, it's got a very nice finish on it as well, and it really does make for a nice finish to what is, for me, a very, very nice stout. You got, like, for me, right, just before the finish, you got a little bit of licorice, and then after that licorice, you got a slight bitterness. But I think the bitterness is kind of like, you know, when you have a cup of coffee and it's quite bitter, it's like a kind of coffee bitterness about it, that blended with licorice, and it's really tasty. It really is. Very sessionable. It's not getting too rich for me or nothing like that. Perhaps after a few, the sweetness could become an issue, but I see why it's in there, because I do think it is needed, because there's a lot of flavours going on and you need something to just balance it out. I don't even got any ingredients on here. Oh, it actually says on the back, pardon me, that MENA DHU means Black Hill, brewed with 6 types of malts, flavoursome. Do we have water, malted barley, oats. That's probably why it's got quite a good mouthful for the ABV. The oats tend to thicken up the mouthful of a beer. Hops, Demerara sugar. There you go, Demerara sugar. That's brown sugar in it. I'm definitely tasting the brown sugar, licorice and yeast. Oh yeah, there you go. I forgot to give it the old swirl at the bottom, but yeah, there should be some yeast in the bottom of here, which they recommend not to drink, but who listens to that? Sort of flavour in it. Yeah, overall, I've really enjoyed trying this beer. I would 100% pick it up again if I fancy the stout. It's very nice, and if you haven't tried it and you're a fan of your stouts, I would 100% recommend you give this one a try. And I'll be really interested to know what you think of it if you do try it. Because for me, it's an absolute cracker, but of course, we are all different. We all prefer different things in that. But I think this is a little hidden gem, this one. And yeah, I'll be really interested to see whether it's just me. But yeah, I 100% would pick it up. I literally only picked it up because it was new in my Asda and I haven't reviewed it yet. But yeah, it's a lovely little surprise. I think I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. That's how much I'm enjoying this. I would say it's one of the best stouts I've reviewed on the channel so far. I haven't done loads of stouts, but this one is up there. And that's about it for today's review, guys. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate that, because it helps me channel out a lot. and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done already. And if you're already a subscriber, all I can say is thank you very much for the continued support, and again for making it this far. To the next one, guys. Bye bye, darlings.